All right, guys, we are live. This is the Shillan and Duffy show, live recapping UFC Vegas 109, Dolidze versus Hernandez, or Hernandez versus Dolidze. This is brought to you by sherdog.com on the Sherdog website and, of course, Sherdog YouTube page. I am your host. My name is Keith Shillan. Joining me, as always, is the senior editor of sherdog.com, the great Ben Duffy. Ben, how you doing, my man?
I am doing pretty well. I'm a little tired. I like it makes me tired in a good way to watch Anthony Hernandez fight. I cannot wait to talk about this. This is why they fight the fights, because you and I were both kind of on this card, and I'm as amped as I've been at the beginning of a recap show probably all year.
For a fight night, this is up there. And I honestly, I'm not even going to give the overall card that great. But if I gave Anthony Hernandez a grade, look, whatever's higher than an A plus, whatever grade you got in an English test, and you automatically get to Oxford, whatever that is. Like, what's the highest SAT? Like 1,600 or something like that.
1,600.
Yeah, he just got a 1,700 on the SATs. I mean, this is he finished the SATs and then started doing the person next to him's SATs. Like, this guy. All right, let's get right into it. Obviously, the main event, we had Roman Dolidze taking on Anthony Hernandez. Anthony Hernandez winning by 4th round sub. First of all, welcome to the bandwagon, everybody else. Me and Ben were on this bandwagon a long time ago. I like to live in the moment, Ben. You know I like to live in the moment. I might get – I'm warning, guys. I might get a little exaggerated on the show. So take anything I say with a grain of salt. I'm watching Anthony Hernandez, and before the fight starts, my wife's downstairs watching the fights with me, and she don't know either guy. And I'm like, pick which guy you think should win. I say one of these guys is my favorite fighter, one of my favorite fighters in MMA. She thought I was Dolidze just because, big, brooked up kind of, guy.
Yeah.
And I couldn't stop gushing over what Anthony Hernandez did. It was like, I have a freaking man crush on this dude. Like, I would kiss that guy if I saw him in person. Like, I'm in love with this guy. I said some things to Ben before, and I'm not going to say now because we have to be a professional for sherdog.com. But it's 10:36. If it was after midnight, it would get a little crazy. I'm all in on this guy. I am sold. And if you're not sold, what else you need to see? He just mauled Roman Dolidze. Talk to me.
Well, a year ago, 15 months ago, we were already on the bandwagon. Plenty of people were starting to join. Like, people were realizing, okay, this is not just another LFA middleweight champ. But if you had a criticism to point out, say 15 months ago, would be, well, Hernandez is a guy that builds. He has to be a builder. That might cause him problems if he has these deliberate starts and all of a sudden he's down 3 rounds to none against a great fighter once you're getting into the championship rounds. All of a sudden, he's coming out hot. The Michel Pereira fight, which was Sherdog's beatdown of the year for 2024, was a pillar-to-post mauling. He came right out and put it on him. Tonight, again, this is a beatdown of the year candidate for 2025. Came right out at the bigger, stronger, more explosive, fast starter of a fighter and just took it to him right away. This fight, once we got past about the midpoint of the second round, it became more than just X's and O's and the foot position battle. This became kind of a drama. This became mean. Once he started to do the rinse and repeat, just take him down, elbow him 3 times, get up, make him get up. He took him down so many times in the third round and let him get back up. It wasn't a fight anymore. It was like he was doing burpees at like preseason football camp. It was like a bad CrossFit session. It was mean. It was like a psychologically nasty fight. Like, here's the thing. If he had just come out and, say, knocked out Dolidze in 3 minutes and cut some funny promo on the mic, plenty of UFC middleweights would be like, oh, I want that guy. How many UFC middleweights are saying right now, I want to fight that guy?
Yeah, that's such a good question.
Here, let me put.
You know who said he wanted to fight him? Dolidze's cornerman, Morab, probably said it. He's crazy.
Yeah.
To say it tonight, but I don't know about anybody else.
You're normally the one who will own up to being more in the moment and just, saying what the hot hand has you saying. But I'd say this: if you hate Khamzat Chimaev, if you have it in for him personally on some level, and I'm not saying I do, I don't feel one way or the other about him.
Yeah.
But if you just want to see Khamzat Chimaev have a bad time, you might want him to fight Fluffy Hernandez.
Oh my gosh, dude. So it's funny. I've been kind of slacking off on commenting on previews recently, like our preview show. I just been super busy with other things and kind of like I've been doing the show and getting like this week I was redid my entire deck. I power washed it. I sanded it. I stained it. Like I went all out. So I've just been super busy with other stuff. But I did check some of the comments, and one of the comments the guy said was, "Oh, Keith's really into like people's athleticism." And of course, I am. I agree. I say that a lot, but that's nowhere on my list of like most important attributes. I truly believe the best skill in MMA is someone who can weaponize, as they say, weaponize cardio. I truly believe that is the best skill. Now, does that mean that person's going to win? No, there's other factors. There's other things. Kicks and wrestling and, the whole bunch of other stuff, experience.
Sure.
But if you can give me that, then that person, I think you can develop the other skills. I don't think you can develop this cardio. It's like, I just imagine like Anthony Hernandez not even going to the press conference right now because he's going to go for a run up freaking Mount Washington with a backpack with 300 pounds in it or something. Like this guy's nuts. Like this guy cuts his grass. He puts it like, he doesn't like walk behind it. He's like, he sprints as he's doing. Like this guy's freaking nuts. I'm all in, dude. Like I was thinking about how many guys does it take to beat a gorilla? Well, how many gorillas would it take to beat Anthony Hernandez? Because he's going to tire them out. Like this guy's I was watching this fight and I felt like there was this. It was in the second round. Hernandez caught Dolidze and Hernandez won the first round, but it wasn't like thrashing yet. But it was like, okay, he won the first round, which is already a bad sign for Dolidze. That was Dolidze's best chance. Yes. Was the first round. And every minute that goes on, it starts going more and more in Hernandez's favor. But there was a moment in the second round where Dolidze and Hernandez kind of swung hard at each other, had like a little flurry, and then Hernandez was like, come on. He was screaming at him. And he's like, my wife said, I've always said, he's like, yeah, he's calling him on. I'm like, yeah, but he's not calling him out because he wants to slug it out and I can knock you out, because he's not expecting to get the knockout there. He's rocking. Spoiler alert, this movie came out like freaking 40 years ago, so if you missed it, but spoiler, Rocky 3. It was a real life Rocky 3 moment. Yeah. He wasn't expecting to knock out Dolidze. He just knew that Dolidze wasn't going to knock him out and he was going to tire him. I already want to make you tired, and you're going to help me by like going even faster. Like you're going to gas yourself out even faster. That's why he was calling to swing on him. Yeah. And I'm like, this guy, not only is he credit, but he's brilliant. I love everything about this guy.
Yes. That's pretty much all there is to say about it. He's a guy that, as a fighter, does just about everything right. He has made great use of the tools he does have. And because, yeah, you pointed out, weaponizing cardio is a tough thing to do. There's a whole difference between fighters that never get tired themselves and fighters that make the other guy tired. And Hernandez, just the ease with which he was taking down a guy that looked like he was 15 pounds heavier. Just, I mean, by late in the third round, he was taking him down with stuff that doesn't even have names. Just basically just big brothering him.
Hit him with what some people call a pinch headlock, which is like so rare you never see it because it just doesn't work. He did that too. It felt like I'm around wrestling a lot, and it looked like when we have warm-ups in the high school kids, like my son is in 4th grade and he wrestles with like a 10th grader, and the 10th grader just kind of grabs him by 2 arms and just flips him around anytime he wants without hurting him. But like, all right, I'm gonna put you on the ground now. I'll put you on the ground now. Then another like 3rd grader jumps in and he flips him over. Like that's what it looked like Hernandez was doing. Like he was a high school kid playing with elementary school kid. And I'm like, Dolidze is known for his grappling.
Yeah. And shout out to our man, Jade Bunky. We've actually been on his podcast. He's been on ours, but this is a perfect description. It was the wrestling version of what Max Holloway does to people with kickboxing, where just he's like outdistancing you, then he's lapping you, then he's overwhelming you. So on top of getting your ass kicked, you're humiliated and discouraged on top of everything else.
Yeah,
like there are no pretty losses against someone like Max Holloway, and there aren't really pretty losses against Anthony Hernandez. Everybody that he beats pretty much is broken.
I was watching it. I'm like, Merab doesn't do this to people. Like, yeah, that's Merab's game, and where he's obviously legendary. The way he can wrestle, and he shot, 3,000 times against Pierre Dion, but and Jose Aldo and everything. But like, he doesn't even get people to drop this quickly. It was incredible.
I mean, leaving aside the second O'Malley fight, most of Merab's opponents have just looked frustrated at the end of it. Like, hell, Merab is such an effusive, likable guy that half of them probably want to buy him a beer afterwards and congratulate him. Like, it's not the same as Dolidze getting the come to Jesus talk from Eric Nixick before round 4, coming out with trademarks around his eyes, and just he tries to take the front foot for like 8 seconds, and then it's just right back. Like, dude, the choke when it came was an act of mercy for everybody involved.
That's
from
right.
Dolidze down to you and me, because dude, no hooks, not even a rear naked choke. It was just a bar arm choke, just forearm perpendicular to the windpipe. Just let's all go home.
You've watched Game of Thrones, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Again, if anybody's never seen Game of Thrones, I won't say the person's name, but I'll give one guy. When Jon Snow shoots the arrow into the guy, it's like a mercy. That's what it felt like, the choke. And I'm watching it, and nothing against Dolidze. I have nothing against. I don't like seeing him get his ass kicked like that. I'm so big on Hernandez. I'm watching the fight, and I'm saying, when that choke came in, I said, "Oh no, like it's over." I didn't want it. I wanted to see what the scorecards were going to be.
With the point deduction, we might have been on the way for like a 50-42 or something.
Think about it. The second round had to be a 10-8. The third round had to be a 10-8.
The fourth round was a 10-7 if they made it to the end.
Yeah. I'm gonna guess the fifth round was gonna be 10-8. That's a 50-40 scorecard. 50-40.
Which would certainly be the most lopsided UFC scorecard ever. Yeah.
I thought Dolidze was gonna get like how many fouls you get until you get disqualified kind of thing. Like I remember watching I forget who Gable Stevenson was wrestling. Someone actually pretty good. And he just like the guy just kept backing out, like he didn't want to engage with Gable Stevenson, and Gable Stevenson like got him disqualified in the first round. Got him first round. And then as far as the submission, I mean, it was locked in, but he quit.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Is this a fit? Big Marcel, obviously, I'm not questioning Big Marcel. I mean, that guy's that's first of all, one, he's my boy. Second of all, the guy's just knowledgeable and when it comes to news. He's saying only one judge gave a 10-8 round in the second round. What the hell's a 10-8 round? If the second round is not a 10-8 round, what the hell's a 10-8 round?
Especially considering we had an undeserved 10-8 round earlier. Yeah. Big Marcel says Chris Dracula Lee. I assume he's saying Dracula because he sucks. In which case, bravo. Well played, sir.
Yeah, I mean, if that's not a 10-8 round, what the hell is the guy have to die? Like what has, I mean, was Elijah Smith, if that went to the end of the round, would that have been a 10-8 round? Like what's a 10-8 round?
That's a good question, because there was damage, there was obviously dominance, and there was obviously duration. Like Dolidze did not win any 5-second stretch of any round after the first, and he was getting put on him the whole time. Yeah.
The And I mean, when that submission, he quit.
Duh.
I mean,
Christopher Lee.
That tap out was, Christopher Lee, actor, played Dracula.
Yeah, the guy that played Dracula in a bunch of movies. He was Count Dooku in the Star Wars prequels. He was Saruman in the Lord of the Rings. Yeah, that guy.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, all right.
Yeah, man, his name's Christopher Lee. Good. That's even better. Good job, Marcel.
I like the suck part better. But yeah, Dolidze wanted out. I mean, he. Let me ask you this question, and I'm not going to ask you to predict it, but I'm going to throw this to the entire chat. Just simply yes or no. And here's the parameters. It's not will he win a UFC championship, but can he? Do you view him as a guy, like for next weekend, Drake and Duplessis going against Chimaev, regardless of who you are picking to win, and just a little promotion, me and Ben will be breaking that down tomorrow, so that'll be out early Monday morning to see who we think's going to win. But regardless who you win, like how you feel about Chimaev, I think everyone agrees he could win the title. It's a good possibility. Do you think Anthony Hernandez could win a title? I'm like
yes.
1,000% yes.
I the only reason I'm not saying I would give better than even odds on it is that the picture right now, well, there's somebody on the throne that we're going to be talking about soon that it's hard for me to picture how that guy loses now. And then obviously we've got Khamzat Chimaev, who, regardless of how I think about that matchup right now, he is an absolute freight train of a human being.
Yeah, he's as skilled. I mean, there's reasons why you might pick against him, but he's as skilled as anybody we've seen in the middleweight division. Between his power, his speed, his obviously his wrestling, his strength. I mean, he broke Robert Whittaker's teeth with a neck crank. And I don't want to go too far because we'll be talking about it. I'm sure I'll be ranting about that fight tomorrow for a really long time. But could you imagine if it's him versus Duplessis? Is there that, to me, that is the immovable object versus the irresistible force. Like,
completely agree.
Backs up.
Yeah.
I think if I had to put me on the spot, I think it's Dolidze he backs up. I don't think Hernandez thinks it's possible to back. I don't think he's allowed.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hell of a thing to see what's next there. I mean,
let me ask you this question, because I'm looking at the middleweight division, and obviously we're going to be very middleweight heavy after this week, and then obviously next week's main event. You have Duplessis versus Chimaev, but I'm looking at the other guys in the division, and we'll get into who we think these guys should fight next. But I'm looking at a contender in Imavov. I'm looking at a contender in Bahayo. I'm looking at a contender in Rene Derrida. Obviously, Hernandez. You got MVP fighting a week from now. And if Jared Cannonier beats him, I don't know if he's a contender, but Paulo Costa has a win recently. And then the biggest names in the division are all guys who are not in the title picture. Izzy, Sean Strickland, and Robert Whittaker. Has middle, I don't want to say the best division because it's not the best division, but has middleweight kind of snuck in as a really intriguing division?
It's definitely an intriguing division, and it's a strong, relative to its own history, it might be as strong now as it's ever been, because you and I are old school enough to remember when middleweight was the unloved stepchild of the UFC, where they're begging Rich Franklin to move down to 185 because the division sucks and nobody can hold on to the title.
Giving David Terrell a title shot.
Yeah.
Because he beat Matt Lindland.
Yeah.
Hoping Matt Lindland doesn't win, pushing him out because you don't want him to win. I mean, it's never been this deep. We've had stars. Obviously, the reigns of Anderson Silva's run is legendary as any run of anybody in the history of the UFC. Izzy had a hell of a run. Obviously, when Alex Pajeda was in the championship, that was really, really fun and interesting. But depth of who could win the title, we're going 4 or 5 deep, and maybe even some wild cards. Man, I didn't realize it overnight. I'm wicked excited for this division.
Oh, how many times ever before, say, the last 3 or 4 years, has there been a problem of too many deserving title challengers starting to line up at 185? We are so far past the era, like, let alone of, good grief, is David Terrell what we've got? He's 6-1. Or, 10 years later, yeah, how are we going to sell Talos Leites versus Anderson Silva?
The greatest grappler he's ever faced. Somebody can actually see him. Yeah.
Like Alex Pereira was this enormous godsend for the division even just 4 years ago. And Israel Adesanya a year or two before that. All of a sudden, it's like we've got multiple people that could justifiably sit on their hands and wait for a title shot. Like, what more does Anthony Hernandez have to prove?
It wasn't that long ago we were giving Jared Cannonier a title shot.
Yep.
And selling him as like the threat. Or, dude, Patrick Cote got a title shot.
He sure did.
They did Travis Lutter off a reality show. And now you got a guy like, all right, you know what? Let's be super hard. This might be the hardest one we've ever done. No, let's pause. Let's match make these guys, and then we'll do the telephone game. Because I love the telephone game.
Oh yeah.
And I don't have my notes for this. I'm kind of winging this. Let's start with Dolidze. What are you doing with Dolidze next?
I just wrote the recaps tonight, but I'm thinking maybe either the winner of, Cannonier and MVP are fighting. Maybe the loser of that. I'd be fine with. Good grief. He's getting to the point where he's already fought a good number of people in the division. He's been floating around for a minute, but like that actually sounds pretty good to me.
I wrote down Paulo Costa.
That would be fun. Dudes. Yeah. And
I kind of gave up on Paulo Costa that he had a fantastic performance in his last fight. So he kind of, Hernandez is tough because there's a lot of options. I've seen a lot of names. I think just in our chat, I think every single guy I named, someone matched him against him. I saw people saying he needs to fight for the title. I seen people saying Imavov. I saw someone say Behalio Imavov winner. I saw someone say Strickland, and someone keeps throwing Izzy out there, and someone said Whitaker. And what are you doing?
Here's the thing with, because I've seen plenty of people on Twitter as well as in here talking about Fluffy versus Izzy. Israel Adesanya is one of the few non-champs with enough clout to kind of say yes or no to the UFC, and I don't think he's saying yes to a fight with Anthony Hernandez.
No. What a terrible...
Unless Anthony Hernandez is the champ, I don't think Israel Adesanya is fighting Anthony Hernandez. That sounds like an absolutely hellish night at the office for Adesanya.
Yeah, especially for a guy who needs a win.
Yeah.
I'm not. I mean, it's out. I mean, say what you want. If they want to try to drain anything left out of Izzy, I really feel like they need to get a win. They need to get him find. I mean, I'd have to look through the rankings, find the guy who's a shell of himself that Izzy can knock out, just to kind of save him, and then give Izzy one more big fight. Not a title fight or anything like that, but
the thing is, most of the guys that are shells of themselves, Izzy already fought, sometimes twice, because he was champ 5 years ago. You might actually need to give him somebody like Dolidze.
Nope. I got the perfect match for Izzy. You want to get one more fight out of Izzy? Do the Calvin Gastelum rematch.
Boom. There you go. Izzy thinks it's an easy night at the office, and he makes $1 million, and
you can
it's actually a problem.
You put it out, you put up the pay-per-view, second on the pay-per-view, you show the highlights, Hall of Fame fight, running it back.
Londo is calling for the only thing I can think of that makes any sense alongside Hernandez just waiting for the winner of next week's fight. But here's the thing. Why would you do that? Because otherwise, De Ridder's at a point now where you could slot him in for a title shot as well. So why knock off one of those two?
So the only thing I would argue is that you don't have a long reigning champion. So it's not like you're looking for contenders like you did with Izzy. And also, and I'm okay with that match. I mean, I'm really okay with any match. I'm excited to see Hernandez fight anybody. But you also have other guys who could fight. The Imavov, Bahayo winner would be one. They could jump the line, things like that. MVP, if MVP, oh man, MVP would be fun too. But MVP versus Izzy would be kind of fun too. But I feel like we're excited about him. I think the MMA community was excited about him. But I was at a cookout today at my parents' house, and people, someone asked me about MMA. They didn't ask me about this card. They asked me about next week's card. So you need someone to kind of promote him. I agree with Izzy. So who's the other guy that can promote? Who can get Hernandez over? I put him against Sean Strickland.
I like that just fine. Yeah.
And I think he beats the shit out of Sean Strickland.
I agree. Just Strickland, I feel as though he thrives really based on matchup as much, like even more than most kind of top 10-ish fighters, and Hernandez ain't it. Here's the other thing though, like anyone who's kind of putting up resistance to Hernandez just getting the next title shot, again, it's 8 in a row, and most of the people he's thrashing him so badly, like you need some people for him to have available to fight if he does win the title. You don't want to do this Marab, Leon Edwards type thing where he has to win 9-10 fights to get a title shot, because then all of a sudden you got nothing left for him but either less proven people or rematches.
Let me ask you this, and we'll do the fit telephone game. Obviously, let's just put this in a perfect world, okay? Minus with the first thing I'm gonna say, but in perfect world, everybody's healthy, everybody's available. Chimaev, he's had a bunch of shit. He can't get his visa. We'll just say he can't get in America. Well, I don't want to say anything, but for some reason he can't come to America. Yeah. To answer that question, that's thrown on the train. We call it, and in wrestling, and where I'm from, we call it the pinch headlock. It's so freaking rare, even in wrestling. So, that was nasty. But so Chimaev can't fight, but say everybody's available. RDA, Hernandez is not hurt. Every single person's like, let's go. Who's the first person you're calling?
If I'm the UFC, I'm probably calling RDR. He's older. Frankly, I feel there's more risk that if you keep letting him fight contenders, there's more of a risk that he loses a fight. He does have a little bit more of an outsized personality than Hernandez does. So especially if you're going in on a relatively short notice, he's more likely to hype it up for you. So, yeah.
Okay. Who's the second person calling?
Hernandez.
So it's not a perfect scenario. Somebody else, he says he can't do it.
Hernandez.
Okay. All right. Give me a third person. Just I don't want to give you, but give me the top 3.
After that, I mean, maybe you're looking at you calling Islam Makhachev and saying, how serious were you about the 185 thing?
I agree with Dorita. Yeah, I mean, he was obviously beating Robert Wick as impressive, but compared to what Hernandez did tonight, Hernandez was more impressive than Dorita. I mean, there's some people thought Rico won. I disagree. I thought Dorita won, but it was a close fight. But I'm still calling. I agree with what you said. I think you could promote the, former double champion in another organization, beat up Bo Nickel, just beat former champion Robert Whittaker. That's what I would do. He's huge. You sell that. Like, this guy's a freaking monster. He's like, he's built like a light heavyweight. I think I'm with you. I think I'd do Hernandez next, just because of, just show what he did, the mauling he did, and then just the stylistic match between him and Dorita would be so much fun. And then say what's the other side. Say something happened to Duplessis. Say something happened to Duplessis, and imagine the stylistic match between Duplessis and Hernandez. But say something happened to Duplessis. The thing you're selling Duplessis on Chimaev is what you do with Hernandez. It's like a very similar fight.
Yeah.
I'd probably go Bahayo next. because of the record, the fight nerves, the untouchable team that just the hottest team going on, the kind of the face of that team, like the first guy to really kind of put the team on the map. He kind of he's the flag bearer for the team. That's kind of what I would do. And Imavov, yeah, it sucks to be you, dude. Like you're fourth on the list.
I mean,
And
there's
he was great.
there's a lively conversation going on in the chat over how marketable or unmarketable Hernandez is, how well he does or doesn't talk, how easy or difficult it would be to sell a fight for him. I mean, he's got it all over Imavov. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like,
Yeah.
because on top of everything else, Imavov's fights aren't super compelling. Like,
No, I agree. So, all right, we got to talk about the fights. I can't keep talking about Fluffy Hernandez, but yeah, seriously. Last question. Let's say Duplessis wins. I don't want to go too far down this list. Who would be the favorite? And again, it's obviously asking the question is unfair because we don't know what Duplessis does to Chimaev. I mean, if Duplessis goes out and just washes Chimaev, then he'd probably be a big favorite. But just say it's close.
But you know what? If he weathers a storm from Chimaev and turns up the Jets late and overwhelms him, in my mind at least, that makes him better equipped to deal with Hernandez. So I think if he gets past Chimaev no matter what, he probably does come in as a mild to moderate favorite.
Well, to me, Duplessis, we already know he can do that. We already know that he can go win fights deep, and we've seen it over and over and over again. I think it depends on what he does against. If it's like a split decision, something close, I think Hernandez might actually be the favorite. But this is one thing. I live in the moment. But one thing I am not an expert in is setting lines. I am terrible. You know what I mean? If there was like a checklist of what Keith is bad at, like I can't whistle. I'm a terrible whistler. I'd say I'm a pretty weak swimmer. Like I'm not going to drown, but you put me in a pool and have me swim at length. I look like freaking. I look like Dolidze at the end of the fourth round. I'm that tired. I'm a terrible. My technique is terrible. And setting lines, that might be number one. I am terrible at that. So, all right, let's. There's a very good chance. We're asking who's the best middleweight in the world and all this. There's a very, very good chance that next week, I should say very good chance, but there's a chance we're laughing and saying, "Oh my God, is Chimaev the greatest fighter we've ever seen?" Because if there's a shellacking, if there's a whitewashing, it's that way. It's him. He just comes out. He again catches him, takes him to the ground, beats him up, takes his back, subs him, whatever. And then we're just saying, "Oh my God, who wants to fight Chimaev? This is nuts." Or we see Duplessis and we go, "Wow, I can't believe we counted him out again. He did it again." There's even more skilled fighter. But again, I'm going down a rabbit hole, which we're going to talk about next week, and I'm really excited to talk about that. Before that, Steve Ersg took on Ode Osborne. Ersg won a unanimous decision. How did you score the fight?
I scored it 29-28, Ersg. I gave Osborne the first round.
Yeah, that's how I had it. I felt dirty scoring it that way. Like it's the right way, but it's one of those things in MMA. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I understand that the fairness is the round system, but sometimes it doesn't feel right.
Are you saying it felt more lopsided than a 29-28 fight?
I felt like Osborne was a better fighter tonight, but the way just the way that the fight is scored, Ersg wins, and I thought it was close.
Yeah,
I thought he won the third round. Convincingly. Wasn't like a thrashing, but he won the third round. It was pretty thrashing at the end. And the second round, he squeaked by.
Yep.
But the biggest moment of the fight was Osborne. Like, if this was old Pride rules, Osborne probably wins that fight.
I think so. And here's the thing. Osborne just about finished this thing in the first 90 seconds. I did think Ersg did enough to kind of earn back his 9. Mm-hmm. Because at the 2-minute mark, this was looking like a 10-8 round.
Yeah, I agree.
But no, I'm with you on that. That's what we have for a scoring system.
Yeah, and if you're Osborne in his corner, I mean, this must be so frustrating. When he goes back and watches this fight, he let this one slip away. Just his refusal to not throw his hands in the second round. He really, I want to say, like, you gave everything that Ersg needed. Ersg needed time to kind of regain himself and fight a slower pace fight, turn into a lot of like clinching and reaching for legs and not doing much and point fighting from distance. It's like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, and you're familiar with this because we've done 200 previews, but I have a group of fighters that I call my scream at the TV fighters.
Yeah.
Ode Osborne is such a scream at the TV fighter that I assume he screams at his own fights when he watches them the next day.
Oh, it must be so. We've talked about this before. We said he's shown flashes of brilliance. He showed it. He looked like a top 5 guy. He had Ersg hurt bad.
Yep. And he was, and here's the thing, he was fighting smart. His coaches realized in advance that he had a major advantage in hand speed. They clearly understood that Ersg isn't great at exiting the pocket cleanly. And so the first 4 times they got into punching range together, he nailed him with left hooks on the way out and just about knocked him out. And Ersg never really adjusted to that. Just Osborne stopped taking advantage. Like, the only thing Ersg really changed after about 4 minutes in the fight was he started breaking up the rhythm a little more with more feints and level changes and just kind of half-ass snatch singles just to get Osborne's hands down. But the basic advantage in hand speed and power never went away until Osborne maybe got tired late. I feel as though Osborne could have flatlined Ersg at pretty much any point in the first 8 minutes of this fight. And I think he's going to realize it too. And that's what makes him a scream at the TV fighter. I didn't mention him in that regard. We'll get to this fight later, but you remember I predicted Miles Johns is going to lose, but it's going to be extra frustrating because you're going to be able to tell he could have won. And even more so than for him, you could say that about Ode Osborne tonight.
Yeah, it was so frustrating if you're Ode Osborne backer. So I coach wrestling, and one thing I always try to, especially the younger kids, is when someone shoots on you and you sprawl or you stuff the head or whatever you do, don't ever let them break away free. Like, you need to try to score now. Like, don't look at it as a defensive moment. Look at it as an offensive moment. And I felt like one thing that was, so this is going to the fight, I'm watching Ersg like lunging to get the leg, never really having his leg. So he closed distance, tried the leg, and then as he retreats, he got a free pass out every time. I'm like, you got to clip him as he's coming out. Throw your hand. Like, this is your chance. Get him while he's escaping. And he just wouldn't do it. He just let him. Like, he didn't. There was no penalty or no consequence for missing a takedown.
Yep.
Like crack him. Throw a hike.
Lorosenko's sitting at home in some fuzzy slippers with her feet up, got the night off, yelling, "You got to advertise the price of admission."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. Let me ask this question, and I'll throw this out to the whole chat, and we'll try to get some people's answers. So, going back, so he fought for the title, Ersg. He did extremely well in the title fight. I know I'm in the minority, and I think it was maybe 30-40% of people scored the fight for him. I actually gave Ersg the win over Pantoja, and I'm a Pantoja guy. Did we overrate Ersg based on one fight?
Maybe for a minute, but I think at this point, he has slotted in as exactly what he is. He is worse than Alexandre Pantoja, Brandon Moreno, and Kai Kara France. He is better than Matt Schnell and Ode Osborne. He is probably the 6th or 7th best flyweight in the world, and that's not a bad thing to be.
Yeah. But he seems special. When you watch him against Pantoja, you're like, oh no, like, not only is he good, but he could win the title. I mean, I thought he should have won the title. And to me, and I know this, I'm not believing that Dominic Reyes return to glory that some people had to believe in, but it feels very Dominic Reyes thing, where you had such a one great night that we saw, like, you're living off of that. And I feel like that's kind of the situation we have with Steve Ersg. I'm trying to find someone that's a better example, but there's always that guy who has a moment and then we just, exaggerate. And I kind of feel like that's what's going on with Ersg. I think he's got some issues. One, I think he should take some time off. I mean, he got knocked out by Car France. He said to the broadcast team that he was thinking about the knockout when he was fighting Brandon Moreno. Like, that's a tough test, and he's thinking about that. Then he gets clipped in this one. I'm like, he might want to take a long time off. And then I think he needs to go to a team that can wrestle. He needs to get in there and wrestle because his grappling isn't bad if he can get the fight the ground. His wrestling entries are gross.
No, yeah.
Like, he needs to really work on it. So I say get some time off, work on your wrestling, and maybe you can turn it around. Anything else you think about this fight?
Nope. For what it was a hell of a lot of fun. That's what I'll say. You know?
Okay. Let's matchmake Ersg for a second. So I just had some time off, so I'd say a long time from now. But I'm gonna lower the stakes for him. I think he needs to take a step down more towards the Ode Osborne level than the Cara France Brandon Moreno level.
Okay.
I'll give him Alex Perez.
I like that just fine. Like Alex Perez. Yeah, I don't think they need to remake the Amir Albazi fight. I don't think the Yun Sung Park fight that was going to happen is as appealing now. I like Alex Perez as a matchup. Yeah, I like that just fine.
Did you have any other names?
No, that works for me.
We had a really good night. I know I had 2 losses. I don't know what your record was. But one that we agreed on was an upset special, a consensus upset pick. We both picked Angela Hill to beat Asman Lucindo. And about 35 seconds into the fight, I was like, I'm going to get this terribly wrong. Lucindo looked great.
She really did. And I know this is something that I have been harping on recently, where I'm just becoming an appreciator of fighters who know what they're good at and go out and actually do it. But she walked out like somebody who knew what her advantages were going to be over Angela Hill and didn't let it become an Angela Hill fight, except in a few sporadic moments in rounds 2 and 3. But she's like, I'm bigger, I'm stronger, I'm faster. Like, basically, if I force the issue on her, start trying to take her down, even if I don't succeed right away, I'm gonna beat Angela Hill. The way I lose to Angela Hill is either running straight at her and just getting jabbed and kicked up the middle to death, or just hanging around on the outside and letting her Angela Hill split decision me. And she didn't do either of those things. So
she bullied her a lot. She had a lot of big bullying moments, and I agree. I think her intelligence really stood out to me, like the timing on some of her takedowns. Even when she's winning some exchanges to get some takedowns, when I think maybe it was the second round, it was kind of like a closer round, it was kind of still up in the air a little bit, and then she got a takedown and everything, and then obviously the third round. Angela Hill, I'll say this: Angela Hill's takedown defense has come a really long way. I know she couldn't get off the bottom of the third. I think she broke her. I think not the sense of like she's scared or it's just, I think the frustration, and it was just like she knew this is what it was going to be. She could fight back to her feet. She's going to get taken right back down. And that was impressive to me by Lucindo. And the thing about Lucindo, she's only 23. So, I love that. She's got a lot of experience against good ones. And man, one thing also stands out to me is she doesn't let people have moments. Like Angela Hill would have a moment. She'd crack Lucindo with like an stepping elbow or a spinning back fist or something like that. And then Lucindo's just going to blitz you and throw like 8 punches. So even if you block all 8 of them, your moment is kind of forgotten because it still looks good to the judges seeing like 8 punches. Maybe one clips you a little bit, but all your moments kept getting drowned by drastic things she would do right immediately after.
Yes, and that is an underratedly difficult thing to learn how to do. Some fighters never learn to do it. Few learn to do it in their early 20s, because there's a difference between getting cracked and just getting untactical and being like, I got to get it back right away, to having a little too much of that quote unquote warrior spirit. But there's the just getting good at winning rounds by not letting your opponent do anything that sits in the judge's eyes in the front of their mind for the next 30 seconds. Like, if you take each of their moments of offense, their moments of momentum, especially like in rounds 2 and 3, because round 1 wasn't close, but in rounds 2 and 3, if you take their individual moments where they got something productive done and you spread them out so the timing is different, you could have turned those into rounds that looked like Angela Hill won. But there was no chance of that because you put it perfectly. Every time Hill did something, 3 seconds later, oh, Lucindo's winning this round again. That's an underratedly tough thing to do.
So one of her quartermen, and obviously she said this during the post-fight interview with DC, she talked about, oh my God, I can't think of her name right now. She's got to fight for the title against Weili Zhang. What's her name? She's the grappler girl. She was in the corner.
Janjaroba. Yeah.
Vernon Janjaroba. I can't think of her name. Sorry. I was on the sun. I was on a long time staying in deck. I got a really good sunburn. I don't know if you can tell. I got a really good sunburn right there.
Wow. That is
that's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was out so the sun was on one side of me and I was wearing like a regular like under white t-shirt. So like the sleeves come up. And I'm at the point where I don't sunburn anymore when I'm outside. Like I got like a little bit of like KFC color to me. Well, not up there. I don't.
Texas sun is going to burn you through your shirt, sir. It is hot as balls down here right now.
But I was in Iraq for a year and a half. I ain't scared. So obviously Vernon's great. She's top 3 fighter in the world and stuff like that. She's got to fight Weili Zhang. We don't know yet because Weili Zhang fights like every time a Star Wars movie comes out or something.
Every time a Guns N' Roses album comes out, there's your reference.
Nice. That was a good one. Buy or sell. I'm not saying Lucindo is better than Werner, but hear me out. I think stylistically, Lucindo has a better chance of beating Weili Zhang right now than Werner Janjaroba does. Buy or sell.
I completely agree. Because here's the thing. If Zhang fights Yasmin Lucindo 10 times, I think Lucindo might win one. She could fight Werner Janjaroba 100 times, and I think she's probably just going to win 50-45 or 49-46 every single time. Like Janjaroba is incredible. Like I'm a fan. I like grinders. She's had to work so hard for everything she's gotten.
She's
just
good
because she's so unmarketable. But an undersized top position grinder against Weili Zhang, it's just not happening.
No, it looks like it's gonna look like the Colossus as far as the fight.
Yeah, it might not be as quick and brutal, but it's gonna be brutal. Yeah,
it's gonna be brutal. I feel like the only way Werner Janjaroba wins, and it's a possibility based on her age, and is if somehow Weili Zhang overnight got absolutely washed, which we've seen a fight that could actually happen. But that's it. Like Weili's done. If she's not done, then this terrible sense. The reason why I mentioned this when I'm talking about Lucindo is this girl's only 23. She also has the striking. She's big and strong. It's I don't know if anybody's stronger than Weili Zhang, but like she's big, strong. She's obviously the better striker. She has way better output. She does these big combinations. She's only 23. She's still adding skill set. That's what I'm saying. Now, again, I'm not saying she deserves a title shot or anything like that, but yeah, I kind of knew you were going to agree with me on that.
Yeah.
What are we doing? So obviously I said we're not going to argue for Lucindo to get a title shot. I mean, she's on a 1-fight winning streak. What would you do with her?
Here's the thing. She's already beaten a couple of kind of former top 10 fighters on their way down. Like Marina Rodriguez was not that cooked when they fought. For someone that's only 23, you're running low on obvious options. I don't think she's quite ready for like the loser of Zhang versus Verna.
Well, she's not going to fight Verna anyways.
Yeah, not going to fight. MMA Rack says Yan Xiaonan. Okay, that's kind of on the top end of what I'd give her because Xiaonan is a top 5 fighter. If you're a big believer, if you're either a big believer in Yasmin Lucindo right now, or you're of the mind that she's 23. If this is too much for her now, she could regroup and come back literally 5 years from now and still be in her prime. I don't hate that at all.
I'm gonna give it a tap with the Ricci.
Okay. Otherwise, I'm thinking in like the Ricci Dern type area. You know.
And I think it should be a really, co-main event, fight night, or something pretty big, or like prelim for a pay-per-view, like headlining prelim or featured prelim. That's something I would do. 23. I like Lucindo.
Me too. And West Coast says build her up slow. I'm all behind that. The problem is strawweight doesn't have enough people to do that. It's why we're already talking about top 5 matchups for her. There's just not many people for her that would be more than a keep busy fight.
Yeah.
Like you could, like I even mentioned someone like Mackenzie Dern. You could throw Dern at her, seeing if she slips, but that's all you're getting out of it. Because I actually think she probably kind of handles Mackenzie Dern right now. I don't think Dern can get her down, and I think she just kind of bust her up for 3 rounds.
Yeah.
MMA Racks, Andrade versus Lupi. That's one of your kind of last chances to give her somebody just south of the Yan Xiaonan, like borderline top 5 area.
Her versus Lupi would be fun. Andrade's always fun, but I think she's so washed. I'm not saying that Lupi beats her because it's Lupi, and Lupi will find a way to lose. Lupi's the person who's like, she somehow bets on black and red at the casino, and then it lands on the 0-0, the green 0-0. Like that's Lupi, or she's the one she hits on 20 on blackjack. So I said I had a good night. The only other fight I got wrong was Andre Fili versus Christian Rodriguez. And I feel like I didn't get this one wrong because based on the betting lines, Rodriguez was the favorite, and I think both of us kept saying like Fili's a live dog in this fight.
But dude, he looked better than I expected. It was just so weird to see Andre Fili actually fight to his own best advantage. Like all of a sudden, it's like he realized that he had reach on Rodriguez. Like, dude, his jab looked as good as I remembered ever looking. Like I always thought he had a decent one that he maybe didn't use enough, but I didn't expect him to have the hand speed advantage on Rodriguez. But his jab looked fantastic. And he punished Rodriguez the first couple times that Rodriguez kicked his legs, and that kind of kept Rodriguez from getting one of his own best weapons going. And he was the first to try the offensive wrestling, which I feel as though that kind of threw Rodriguez off his own game plan a little bit too, because I think he's used to, or I think he at least expected against Fili that, yeah, this isn't going to go to the ground until or unless I want it to. Yeah, Fili came out with a great game plan, stuck with it, righteously beat Rodriguez. It was great performance. So
Fili is one of my most frustrating fighters because he's so inconsistent. Because when Fili is on, he's dangerous. And I want to shout out to Ricky Fernandez who tossed us a tip. I don't want to. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
I just didn't want to. I don't want to stop Ben's mojo as he was breaking down Andre Touchy Fili. So I went 29-20. I actually gave the second round to Rodriguez. I'm okay with everybody went 30-27. I was really surprised by split decision. Fili addressed that with DC. I didn't hate it because I think the second and third was competitive. Or maybe it was the third. No, I think maybe it was the third round. I gave one, either the second or third. I can't remember. I gave one of the rounds to Rodriguez, but I remember thinking like Fili had 2 in the bag. So I was surprised. A big thing that stood out to me is the size difference. Fili was much bigger. I think I'm not a big guy into like go down weight cutting, but I think Rodriguez might be a little too small for the weight class. Go back down to 135. I liked this fight. It wasn't the barn, but how technical it was. Like there was technical exchanges. I think Fili was like feinting and pulling. I think Fili's takedowns are smart. Like this is, like I said, when Fili's on his game, he can look really good. But the biggest thing, and I want to give a shout out to one of our listeners, he put it in the comments. This is what we missed, Ben. Charlie Winger 7682 said Fili will win because he never loses 2 fights in a row. that's the kind of analysis we need, and I shame on us for not having it. So nice job, Charlie Wenger 7682.
Which clearly is secretly Minty Bets, because that's just totally like a Minty Bets take right there.
Yeah. Before that, a fight that a lot of people think was controversial. I don't think so. Miles Johns took on. We lost Ben. What happened to Ben? Where'd you go, Ben? What's going on, Ben? Why are you so small? What's going on? There you go.
I don't know.
I guess you didn't want to talk about this one. Miles Johns taking on Gene Matsumoto. Matsumoto winning by split decision. Ben, how did you score this fight?
I scored it 29-28 Matsumoto. I gave him the second and third rounds.
So did I. And I thought the second was closer, but I thought it was his round. And the third round was all him.
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot of people scoring at me. If you scored it for throw in the chat who you scored it for. Yeah. I would say this. It was much closer. I mean, and hold on. I don't know if you saw the judges' scorecards. Not only was it split and everything, but they were all over the place. Like they were everywhere. Like
they did not agree on any single round,
which was weird. Some of the rounds, I'm like, how did they? Anyways, Johns looked good for what Johns can do.
Okay.
I'll give him credit. I think he looked good. Good. Big.
Well, I frankly came right out and said that I expected this to be a scream at the TV fight, but it wasn't as much of one as I thought, because Johns actually came out and fought a good wrestle boxer fight. Like he threw enough volume, he kept things nice and tight. He forced the issue. He marched forward on Matsumoto, just threw basic combinations, actually mixed in some wrestling. He looked good. Like this was close to being peak Miles Johns, and he may just not be as good as John Matsumoto. But I find that much easier to deal with after the fact than watching him shit the bed against someone you tell he could definitely beat, which is what most of his other UFC losses have been. Like the loss to John Castaneda and stuff like that. It's like,
yeah,
dude, what are you doing? But here, he's a 3-1 underdog and actually fought his own best Miles Johns fight, and it just wasn't enough, but it was competitive enough that, a few people actually scored it for him. That's not bad.
Yeah, so that's why I thought Johns came out looking good early, and then Matsumoto made adjustments, started pressing the action, kind of forcing Johns to kind of counter with the big right hands instead of the jab. When Johns was coming forward, he was able to lead with the jab. When he was forced, kind of reacting on his back foot, he had to throw a lot of overhands. And then Matsumoto started finding his kicking range. Early in the beginning, when he was kind of getting hit by the jab and stuff, he was throwing a lot of kicks that just landed in the air. It was in that like mid range. He wasn't landed. And then as the fight, he kind of found his range, his rhythm. He started to be able to kick. So yeah, I saw a lot of people saying like Matsumoto didn't look like wasn't that great, and I think a lot of people thought he was just going to trash Johns. I thought he was just going to trash Johns. But one thing I will say, you had good Miles Johns, and Matsumoto beat him. So I still feel good about this guy. He's only 25 years old. Oh. If he gets some power, maybe a little bit more movement, kind of a little bit less of a, stationary Muay Thai kickboxer, do a little more MMA, moving, cutting angles a little bit. I think this kid can be really. I think he could be really good. I think he could be a contender. I'm still in on Matsumoto.
I am too. I think it was a close fight, but I thought he beat Miles Johns, a good version of Miles Johns, and considering how young he is and what his physical gifts look like. We just talked about this in the Lucindo versus Hill fight. If he just gets a little better at taking what his opponent gives him and finding a way to win rounds, this thing could have been lopsided, no question. Like these guys meet again a year or two from now after Matsumoto has a couple more, has another 8 or 10 rounds under his belt. This thing might just have been a washing. So yeah, I'm still in on him.
Yeah, me too. We totally agree. Before that, Ben's favorite fighter, your boy Ersg Anders, took on Leroy Duncan. Leroy Duncan winning by first round TKO. I mean, this is really impressive. We both were taking Duncan to win this one, and he was a big favorite. But how he beat, say what you want, like stopping Ersg Anders is a good win. And then as the first round, it's even more impressive.
Completely agree. It's Leroy Duncan looked fantastic. Honestly, the biggest criticism about his performance was that he kept fouling Anders. Aside from that, there weren't many bright spots for Anders. He showed that he can still shoot a damn good double as he pushes 40. Again, shooting through the hips is almost the only American football skill that actually translates directly across to MMA. But aside from that, Duncan was bigger, faster. He's never going to compile the same kind of highlight reel at the UFC level that he did in Cage Warriors. But after he zonked Anders with the spinning back elbow, Anders is just going staggering across the cage, and Duncan follows him and nails him, his head, a moving target with like 3 accurate punches on the way to the cage, and then starts teeing off and Anders melts down. Those 3 accurate punches as he followed him to the cage I'm like, that's the top 10, the future top 10 middleweight right there. Doing
he was the guy
that
that he was the guy that people were excited about when he was first signed with the UFC. He looked super fast tonight. That was stood out to me. And then we know that recently he showed his wrestling a little bit. He started going from like this striker who starts wrestling a lot. Well, it's nice to see his striking again and be sharp. And some things were concerning. He's doing a little bit more. Like he went airborne at one time. This was spinning attacks. I'm a little worried about that, but just he was feeling himself. He was slow and he looked good. I want to pause real quick. Ben, you mentioned NFL. Obviously, we're both football fans. This is like one of my favorite times of the year when like training camp's going, Hard Knocks is coming, is out. You start listening to the Fantasy Football podcast and all this, and I'm getting ready from like my main league and everything. Did you see today the kicker for the Jaguars kicked a 70-yard field goal?
No, that's incredible.
70 yards. That's insane. The all-time record in the NFL, and I don't think it counts because I don't think preseason counts.
No, but yeah.
But the all-time record is 63. That was 70. That's fucking awesome. Let that dude. I don't give a shit. I hope that guy gets a chance. Like, the real NFL game, they're probably going to let him the opportunity. The only time you're going to get that opportunity is if there's no time on the clock and you're like, hey, it's going into halftime.
Or one team's ahead or behind by 30.
Okay.
And yeah.
Emmy Rax corrected me. The all-time was 66. So
it was 63 forever, and then like Jason Hansen or somebody came along like 20 years later. Yeah. And
this guy cleared it. It looked like he had 1 or 2 more yards. It could have been 71, 72. But shout out to Liam Cohen, who's the new head coach of the Jaguars. He's from my area. I actually watched Liam Cohen play in a football game on Thanksgiving, the big rivalry on Thanksgiving in East Providence, the high school I went to, against LaSalle County, which is like, we're like the city boys at East Providence. They're like the freaking La boys. He was a La boy playing for the private school academy. I mean, their softball team is incredible. But anyway, I remember watching him play. He was like the all-state quarterback, and it's cool. I remember him tearing up. Then he wanted to. We always had a couple 3 or 4 running backs that would go far. A couple made the NFL. Actually, a friend of mine played in the NFL, or friendly, I should say, played in the NFL. He was the first quarterback. We're like, whoa, look at this kid, and now he's the head coach of the Jaguars. So good, but full circle. It's not about me, and obviously I want to talk shit little shit to LaSalle, but I give him credit for letting a guy. It's preseason. Let him kick it. Let him kick a 70-yarder, even if it's only in the record. It's not really in the record books. It's on the side. That's fine. That's awesome. Way to go, Liam Cohen. And I didn't even know the kicker's name. Way to go, kicker who kicked it. You're on the Bulls list. You're going up, my man. So, all right. This is the point of the. I already stepped away from MMA, and now's the time we get to everyone's favorite segment, the Know Your Host segment, where we pause from MMA, get to talk about us, a little more of our personal life. Ben, it is your question. What is your question?
Okay. You wake up tomorrow and you are independently wealthy. And I'm going to name an actual number. I'm going to say you wake up tomorrow and you have come into a windfall of $20 million after taxes. I picked that number because it's not Jeff Bezos, buy myself a private island money, but it's money that I can live comfortably for the rest of my life easily without doing anything I don't want to. What do you do what, if anything, changes in your life? Like, do you buy something with it? Do you keep working? Like, what happens?
All right. So first of all, you want me to answer first? Or you want to answer first?
No, go for it.
And people throw in the chat what you guys would do. I would buy 2 houses. I would buy a house in Hawaii for sure. And that's where I would live. I hate cold weather. So I would buy a house in Hawaii to live during the winter. And then in the summer, I would buy a house, back in the continental USA, probably upper New England. I don't want to say New Hampshire because I was just there. So like that's a little living in the moment, but New Hampshire,
Southern Maine?
Southern Maine, Vermont, somewhere. I'd want like I'd have to live on a lake somewhere, a beautiful lake. I don't want to have a boat. I want to take it out, have some jet skis, maybe some water skis. That's what I want to live. And I'd also want to get a camper and go camping and get my own like seasonal camp spot and stay there. And that I've said before that when I retire, that's what I want to do. Me and my wife talk about, like, we want to be campers. We want to be the people who, I'm talking about the ones who have their own spot and they have like their name on their spot. And, the weekends, grandchildren come to visit the grandparents at a campground. That's what I want to do. Another thing I would do I would start a wrestling team, like a, like a travel wrestling team, like a competitive team, but I'd make it free. So the kids who can't afford to go to, spend $150, $200 a month and then go to Fargo, can't do that. Everything would be free. You work your ass off, I'll send you Fargo. You work your ass off, I'll send you the Beast of the East, the Super 32s, all those kind of things. As long as you work your ass off. What would you do?
I mean, first, I got to make some comments on your answer. One, rest my dad's soul. You gave the exact answer I think my dad would have given if I'd asked him that. Like, have 2 houses and a camper. Like, well, it's just like the total pop.
Yeah, well, that's.
But
I mean, if we both had sex with your mom, so it's cool.
Oh well, I mean, she is pretty damn fine. Now, my whole thing is, I stopped when you said you hate cold weather, dude. You've lived in Rhode Island for over 4 decades. Over 4 decades at this point. Are you waiting for it to get warmer? I thought you Republicans didn't believe in global warming. Like, it's not going to get any nicer. Go to Hawaii now.
You know what's funny? So real quick, when me and my wife first got married, my wife's people that know, she's from Canada, if you don't know, and she moved down here and she went to college, and that's how we met each other. And she stayed down here. And honestly, it's still to this day. And I, not to get sentimental, for her to like sacrifice not seeing her, she just came back from Canada, but she's super close to her family. For her to like sacrifice, sacrifice how close she is to her family, not seeing them all the time, to live with me and start our own life here, it means a lot to me. Anyways, she was offered a job when we just started. Like, I didn't have my career. She offered her like a dream job, and it was right in Orlando, like 10 minutes from Disney. I was ready to go, man. But then when we didn't go, she didn't want to go further. This is before we had like any kind of money. Jumping on a plane was like a huge luxury. Like, we couldn't do that. We'd have to save up. Like, you were cheap early 20s kids, But I was ready to go, dude. I didn't even have a job. I would have been Peter Pan at Disney World. I would have been like, when you believe in magic, like, anything's possible. Like, I was ready to go. If I never see snow again, I'm cool with that. Like, I like making a snowman with my kids, but they're all grown up now. Well, not grown up, but like my son would, and I go sledding with them a little bit, but I don't want to shovel snow again in my life. A good winter to me is when I don't have to start up my snowblower. Like, they'll be like, oh, I love, like, I spent all this money for snowblower. I hope I never use it again in my life.
Yeah.
Anyways,
no,
sorry. Tell me what you do.
A lot of people in the chat are starting with, I would do something to make sure that I could live off interest / residuals. Obviously, I would do something like that. But in terms of what I do on a day-to-day basis, aside from making sure I had at least one house that was totally paid off, honestly, I'd probably keep working at Sherdog. I'd beg off of the parts of it that I don't like doing. Like I would still do this show with you, and I just make somebody else produce it. Because I like talking.
Yeah.
I like talking to you for 3 hours, but I don't like listening to you for another 3 hours while I cut out all the shit. I enjoy writing, and I actually enjoy editing. I would just stop. Yeah. I'd probably keep working for Sherdog. I'd probably finish writing any of the 3 novels that I'm halfway into. I mean, I understand that there are 14-year-old girls out there that are publishing novels while getting straight A's in school and kicking ass at softball. If Lila can do it, like I got no excuse to have all this confident shit. Play. Like, yeah. You know what? You're not helping.
3 novels.
No. I have 3 partially written ones. I'm not actively writing on any of them.
Are they stories? Too busy. What are they?
No, they're all stories.
Yeah. Are they like fictional stories?
Yeah, they're all fictional stories. Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Let's get it. Let's get cracking, dude. Well, first of all, how about we just finish one to start?
Well, I would have to finish this one to start, but I feel as though it would really cut into my guitar and video games time. So it's just something's.
Oh, that thing. That little detail.
Yeah.
All right. So what did you do? You make it your own video game room.
Honestly, I don't need a video game room. Like the desk that you all see me at right now, where I'm sitting in front of all my monitors. You kind of see my shit behind me. This is on some days of the week. This is where I spend like 90% of my time. It's like an open floor plan type thing. Like if I pivoted the camera around, like all the bedrooms are kind of out. Like I got a big space up here. I got instruments. The computer that I'm sitting at here right now. When I'm done working, I go get a snack and then I come back and play games or work on music stuff. Yeah, I mean, I don't need a man cave video game room. Like the thing that I thought of when I came up with the question is how little would change for me. Like my life would be better on some level if I didn't have everyday money worries. But I wouldn't quit my job the next day. I'm not one of those dudes that like I flip off my boss and take a shit on his desk and walk. Like for one thing, my boss's desk is in Columbus, Ohio. That'd be a long time to hold it in. But yeah. But like not that much would change for me.
Yeah. I say, like obviously I said they want the complete opposite. I'm like, I'd move to Hawaii, this. But I would have to retire first. And honestly, I could retire in July from the police department. But it's a couple of things, it's a couple of details I have to do. But long story short, I could retire in July. And I'm not. I love working there. So anyways, it was a lot of good answers. Dev loves to go fishing. We'll be on a Simony Lake, lakefront home. Well,
if Keith is anything like my father-in-law, because my father-in-law, my wife's stepdad, was a career police officer. He retired as a one of 4 captains of the Provo, Utah Police Department. He retired while his wife was still working. Lasted about 10 months before she kicked him back out. She's like, you need to go do something else. He went back to work for the campus cops, just kind of part-time, and like what, because he'd been on the bomb squad. He was like on the bomb squad for like BYU football games and stuff, just to give him something to do for another couple of years until she was ready to retire because she couldn't stand to have him around the house all the time. I could see your wife doing that to you.
Yeah.
Keith, I don't care what you do. Go mow lawns around the yard.
Yeah. I'm a busybody. I'm a busybody. It's really not my wife. She'll give me 1 or 2 things to do. It's really me. It's like she didn't tell me to like do my deck. I just was looking at it. I'm like, this deck needs to be done. They're asking if we had enough money, would you buy Sherdog?
Absolutely. I would 100% buy Sherdog.
Yeah, I would buy Sherdog too. But the first thing I would do, that guy, Jay Petrie, that guy brings us. I'd cut that guy. Or you know what? That's not true. There's someone like to run out, get you a coffee, get me an energy drink. Like, oh, hey Jake, go get me an energy drink. Antoine Willis asks, "Who are celebrity crushes?" We did that one already.
I forgot what my answer was. It's a different answer every time though, so we could ask it again in a couple weeks.
Yeah, it was
different names.
We both grew up in the '80s, so it was very Saved by the Bell related. Like I went with Kelly Kapowski. Ben went with Zach.
I went Mario Lopez. Yeah.
All right, let's get back to the fights. I got a one. So I started the card a little late, so I had to do like catch up, and I caught it up. And I'm not lying. I'm telling the truth. For some reason, like I was watching on demand, and I didn't do like the prelims because it was fast forwarding. I had to watch ads, and so I just did the on demand on ESPN Plus, and it wouldn't work on demand. And then I went to the prelims, and that wouldn't work. For some reason, I did not get to watch the Rafael Squa versus Julius Walker fight. So I have no idea that it was like fight of the year candidate. But Ben, what do you got for this one?
This fight was dog shit. You picked a good fight to miss. You might want to slip your cable provider like a little tip, $20 for sparing you from this one. It was, I mean, we said in advance, this is going to be a very light heavyweight fight between, a couple of people that do have certain positive tools, but just terrible fight IQ. And just, that's pretty much it. Here's the thing. Walker won, and he won 30-27, 30-27, and won 30-26 that involves maybe the worst 10-8 round I can remember in the UFC in 2 or 3 years. But pride rules, Cerqueira almost won. He came closer to finishing the fight than Walker did. And until he kind of got tired and sloppy at the end, like Walker kept winning the rounds, but I would much rather have been Cerqueira than Walker in this fight, except for the way the scores went. That's the only way I can describe it. Cerqueira.
I agree. I agree with everything you said. That's what I should have did. I should have told people I missed it and just say, hey, you know what, Ben, kick this fight off, and then just go, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it sucked.
All right. You know what's funny? How incredibly mad would I have been if I was like, hey, Ben, so there was one fight I missed, and it was Elijah Smith versus Toshiyami Kazama. And I know I butchered that guy's first name, but deal with it. Imagine if I was like, Ben, tell me what happened in this one. And you were like, holy shit.
Like, you and Kazama can watch it together tomorrow for the first time. Yeah.
Holy moly. Obviously, Elijah Smith won by first round knockout with an absolute holy shit, a la Quentin Rampage Jackson knocking out Hikaru Arona. He was beating him up a lot. Kazama locked in a triangle choke, and Smith picks up Kazama over his head. Ninja Kitty said Psycho Sid power bombed him, and what the best part is he picked him up, he put his left hand in front of his face so he can't brace it, and he came straight down. It is it's knockout of the year. Is anything do we just give the award out now? Is anything topping this one?
Unless we have an incredible knockout in like a main event or title fight, this is probably it.
But it has to be something insane, not just a punch or maybe a high kick or
it'd have to be something spectacular in a higher stakes fight. Is because those awards, the submission of the year, robbery of the year, well, not robbery, but definitely submission and knockout of the year. It has to be a mix of spectacular technique and the fight meaning something.
Sure.
A crazy submission, like a buggy choke submission in like KSW will make our top 5, but it never wins the whole thing. I
love when someone, and not just here, but like on Facebook or Twitter, and they'll be like, oh, this is not going to end. And then there's someone who's like some hipster, and they're like, dude, what about King of the Cage 372 when this guy, this 2-1 fight, I pulled off this insane submission over this 1-2 fighter. Oh, you guys are such casuals. And it's like, all right, cool, dude. Like, thanks for just posting that. Be like, just so you could say like how hardcore I am. There's no way that's getting submission of the year or knockout of the year or fighter of the year or the guy went 5-0 in the year. Like, cool. It's pretty much UFC. It's even like a PFL. It probably ain't getting it. But I'll say this: there's good and bad to like about this. Now, obviously, the guy's athleticism off the charts. His strength was right. He's only 22. I mean, like, everything you want in a prospect is there. And he looks like he's learning on the job. But he almost got submitted a bunch of times too in the shellacking. So are you pro Smith on this performance? You negative, or I mean, everyone's gonna be pro Smith on this, but is it like, are you still sliding a little bit? Like,
he still looks to me like, if you tell me that Elijah Smith is a top 10 bantamweight 2 years from now, I'm on board with that. If you tell me that he fights for a title 4 or 5 years from now, I'm willing to believe you.
Same.
But he looked to me like somebody who's going to lose at least one fight on the way up.
Totally agree.
Kazama might be the worst bantamweight in the entire UFC right now. He only does one thing at a remotely UFC level, and he got multiple chances to try to do it against Elijah Smith.
Like, and some of that was good because I mean, he had some leg locks. The leg locks were never that close. The armbar was super slick, and then that triangle was super slick. But yeah, I agree. Like, I don't know who Smith's going to fight next, but he'll probably be like a negative 800 favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd stay away just because I agree with everything you said. I think he's super promising, so much liking this kid. If you told me he wins the title one day, he's in the possibility. Again, it's so early to even project, but there is going to be a hiccup. A hiccup is definitely coming for this kid.
It definitely is. And here's the thing. It won't be the end of the world when it comes. Was it Ricky Fernandez in the chat asked, is Elijah Smith the best American MMA prospect? My instant response was, depends. Is Josh Van still a prospect? Van lost a fight when he was like 22 in the UFC. It wasn't the end of the world. It didn't even derail him by like 3 years or something like it does for like a borderline top 15 welterweight. Like, if that comes for Smith, it's not the end of the world. The whole cliche about you win or you learn means something, but
I'd have to look at a list of prospects. I wasn't prepared for this one off the top of my head. I have to look at a list of who people consider prospect to say he's number one, but I ain't mad at anybody who's saying he is. You know what I mean?
It reminds me of Jorge Masvidal kneeing Ben Askren, where as long as I've been watching the sport, as soon as Masvidal lanced Askren, I was like, that's the best flying knee I've ever seen. It beats Kid Yamamoto over Kazuyuki Miyata. It beats James Irvin over Terry Martin. That is the best flying knee I've ever seen in MMA. And the same thing here is like, that's the best slam knockout I've ever seen in MMA.
Over Rampages?
That's instantly where my mind went. And okay, it might not have had the same, like, just absolute beauty of form and silhouette, but it's the most brutal one I've ever seen.
In
a top level org.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Rampage because who he did it against. It was Ricardo Arona. Like, it was, a top 5 guy in the world at the time. Mm-hmm. The way the camera angle was, it was directly in front of us instead of where Smith was off to the side a little bit. I mean, Rampage went straight. I mean, Rampage looked like a WF move. So
it really did.
And we never saw anything like that before. So I'm going to I know Carlos Newton, Matt Hughes, Slam, and all those, but like to that extent where guys are trying to listen, like Matt Hughes' one was, he picked him up. Newton grabs the fence. Like it ruined the momentum. The Rampage is the first one you see up and down.
The Hughes and Newton one looked like something that happens when a fight kind of breaks down. Like you said it, Rampage versus Arona looked like a pro wrestling spot.
Yeah. If you
and Arona getting a medal pinned on him for selling it so well.
Like, wow, that guy can really,
if he wasn't asleep, he probably would have like razored his forehead, so he's like Dusty Rhodes all bleeding all over the place. Yeah.
You'd be like, dude, I know this is fake, but damn, that looks real. You get that moment in wrestling, like,
still real to me, damn it. Yeah.
Before that, Jocelyn Edwards took on Priscilla Cachoeira. Edwards winning by first round knockout. Or let's pause on Edwards, frankly. Let's talk about Cachoeira. Cachoeira wants to be Anthony Hernandez. She wants to pressure forward, but her defense is, holy Christ, is it bad?
Dude, I said in the Sherdog chat, it's like she has negative head movement. Like her head stays still and stuff comes flying at it like it has a gravitational field, like it's a black hole. Like she has negative head movement.
Dude, it's like it's sucking it into the...
People in neck braces have better head movement than her.
Oh my God.
Frankenstein has better head movement than her. It's unbelievable how bad her defense on the feet is. And Jocelyn Edwards is not somebody you can bring that with.
I don't think she would get punched as much if her strategy was to headbutt her opponent's fist. Like, I still don't think she'd get it. I mean, that was really bad. 3 wins in a row for Jocelyn Edwards. I think 2 of them were stoppages in a row. Maybe 3 of them were stoppages in a row. Do you believe in Jocelyn Edwards?
Yes.
Okay, I want to take you back 11 months ago. I don't know what the standings are. I got laughed at. I picked Jocelyn Edwards, and they said it was the worst pick. Well, actually, my Conor McGregor one, but I knew that was my bad pick. But when I win the title at our fantasy over two other guys that's been in the chat and you, it's going to be because of my anchor, Jocelyn Edwards. Comment. I don't know how many points she's going to be tonight, but she's going to be a lot of points. Nice job. Is this crazy to think based on that division? Like when you say that you believe her, something has to do with the division.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, obviously. Like she might be only 1 or 2 more wins away from a title shot in that division.
3 in a row, and she's already proven that, okay, it's a waste of time to even match me up with the Priscilla Cashueras of the world. You're either going to need to give me a top 5, top 6 opponent, or, you know, quit wasting my time.
Yeah, her hardest battle was on the scale. Like always.
Hardest battle is on the scale, and I make this comparison all the time. Women's bantamweight is men's light heavyweight. It's the glamour division. It's never a deep division. None of the fighters are perfect. So the ones that just figure out what they're good at and leverage it can make a lot. They can make a lot of headway. Like Edwards, on some level, is figuring out what she's good and not good at. She's probably never going to have great takedown defense, just given how she fights, how much she needs to kick. But she's, developing a good get-up game. And if you just try to stick on the feet and brawl with her, she's going to wipe you out.
Yeah. Just pointed out Conor McGregor is like negative 180 for me this year. But he's forgetting one thing. We have like 2 or 3 weeks left. Conor could still headline a pay-per-view and get me a knockout win. It could still happen.
Conor McGregor's score, and for those that don't know, Jay Petrie, Devin Tejada, Keith, and I do a fantasy MMA thing each year, and the scoring is based on wins and losses and whether they're in main events, but also trouble with the law costs you a lot of points. And McGregor this year, it's almost like when you're that broke ass dude when you're like 20 and your checking account gets overdrawn, and then the overdraft fees start giving overdraft fees on top of the overdraft fees, and the $5 cheeseburger you bought is suddenly a $30 cheeseburger. Like the score for McGregor, it's astronomical.
We had no negative points for Instagram pictures, so I might be okay.
Oh my goodness.
Antoine Willis, he loves the Hall of Fame questions. He says, "Do I think Barry Bonds should be in the of course Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame? Of course he should. I mean, it's stupid. It's stupid not to vote. I mean, yeah. He's the greatest baseball player probably since Babe Ruth.
Yeah, and if it's because of the steroids thing, then you put him in the Hall of Fame and you put that on his plaque.
Yeah, the steroid. I mean, the Hall of Fame is a museum about the history of the sport. We really can pretend like, listen, fucking Burt Blyleven and Jim Rice in the Hall of Fame. Really, Barry Bonds shouldn't be, and Mark McGwire shouldn't be, and Roger Clemens, and honestly, don't tell me that there ain't people that in my opinion, again, I'm talking out my ass. There's a whole shitload of people in the Hall of Fame who did steroids. Some of the squeaky cleanest people probably did steroids.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Some of them might have played shortstop for the Yankees. I'm just saying. He probably did steroids too. And I hate him. So there's that.
No, like here, I'll write the Hall of Fame plaque for you. It'd be like you give a few of the stat lines, and then you're like, this asshole was already a Hall of Fame level player and decided that instead of being a 40-40 player, it'd be cooler to have like 65 home runs and no stolen bases a year. We don't know why he did it. His hat size increased by like 5 sizes in the last 5 years of his career. Congratulations, you're in the Hall of Fame. I don't know.
You know how I give credit to, if you're that guy and you're in the minor leagues, I know we get sidetracked, but we're doing the show a little earlier than usual. But if you're in the minor leagues and you sit there and you're like, you hit so many to the one track, and you're like, dude, you hit 40 balls to the one track. If you did steroids, all those are out. And now you're in the majors and you sign a major league contract and you're set for life. You honestly can tell me you're not going to do steroids. Now, the guy who's a megastar, who made himself even more a megastar, but the guy who's just like, dude, I'm not fucking close. I don't hate on you. And other people are doing it. What Matua said, why bring Jeter? I never mentioned Jeter. I said somebody played shortstop. There's a lot of people played shortstop for the Yankees. I didn't say starting shortstop for the Yankees. Could have been backup. Anyways. Oh God, stop that shit on the kid. All right, you know what? I don't want to go. Derek Jeter is the most overrated player of all time. The most overrated player. Now, is he a Hall of Famer? Yes. Is he a great? Yes. Is he missed 3,000 hits? Yes. Is he one of the greatest shortstops? Well, feeling wise, he's a terrible feeling. But and some of his great plays just because he had no range. He had to go to jumping catch while other shortstops would have got it easily. But if Derek Jeter played for insert like 20 other ones, he's a Hall of Famer, but he's forgotten. The Yankees never won a championship because of Derek Jeter. He was never the best player on his team.
Nope.
Anyways, he wasn't the best shortstop.
Even you don't hate Mariano Rivera, right?
No.
Oh, okay, good. Like,
but let's not forget he blew 2 saves that cost the Yankees 2 World Series. We all talk about how many saves he had. He blew 2 saves that cost him 2 World Series championships. Everyone forgets about that. He blew a save against the Diamondbacks, and he blew the save against the Red Sox, and then that team would have won the World Series against the Cardinals. Anyways, just saying. And let's be honest, closer is like the most irrelevant position. Like being the best closer of all time is like, oh, cool. Like it's like, wow, you're the tallest 3rd grader of all time. Like big fucking deal. If he was so freaking good, he would have been a starting pitcher. He would have been a starting pitcher. All right, you ready for me to rant? You ready for me to rant? I'm ready for me to rant.
Oh my God.
Okay, you know what the Hall of Fame? First unanimous, all that stupid stuff. You're trying to tell me he gets a unanimous, but Babe Ruth wasn't unanimous. Willie Mays wasn't unanimous. Freaking Mike Schmidt wasn't unanimous. Ted Williams wasn't unanimous. But Mariano Rivera, because he could strike out 3 guys to end the inning, is unanimous. Get the fuck out of here. If you were ranking the 100 greatest baseball players ever, Mariano Rivera would not be there.
I am so happy right now. For the record, everybody watching, I said, Keith, you don't hate Mariano Rivera, Dio. And then he's like, no. And then unleashed like 3 minutes of straight hate for Rivera. I am so delighted right now. It's so good.
He was great, but he's like great at like one thing. like it's like a good kicker. Like the best kicker ever. Like big deal. Like who's the best kicker in the league? Like who's I don't know who that I don't know, but like go back like 10 years ago. Justin Tucker, when he was the best kicker. If I had Justin Tucker, I would have traded him for a backup quarterback. It's like, dude, it's like a good running back in football. Why would the stupidest thing when you hear a running back ask for an extension or they ask for a contract? Like, you're the most irrelevant position. And I understand there's exceptions. I understand Saquon Barkley is the exception. I understand that. But generally speaking, you don't win championships because of a running back. Not since like the 90s. Like, in current NFL, like a defensive tackle is more important than a running back. Freaking the nickel cornerback coming in is more important than the running back. The Patriots are winning championships with James White. Like, get out of it. Anyways, we got to keep people right now. All the Europeans like, what are you talking about? Yes, I understand Saquon Barkley might be the best running back. I understand that. But I would if I was the Eagles and someone wanted to trade for Saquon Barkley, I would trade him in a fucking heartbeat. Anyways, speaking of which, Yoris managed to take on Gilbert Albina. Yoris managed to clip Gilbert Albina after getting dropped himself in the first round. Talk to me about it.
It looked pretty much exactly like I thought it would. I didn't get down to this granular a detail, but I think we both picked Medic to get a first-round knockout. And if I had to guess, I would have said that Urbina probably gets at least one good lick in. Medic offensively throws good straight shots. He has a ton of power, but he always looks a little stiff, and he has been caught cleanly before by a lot of opponents that aren't lights-out strikers. Urbina's longer, lankier, and he's a decent striker. I didn't expect him to get knocked down, but yeah, Medic got back up and lit Urbina the hell up. That was a nasty left hand that just flattened.
Yeah, I'm torn on it. Obviously, give Urbina, he's not UFC level. I'll give him a little bit of a pass. Medic starches a lot of people. That's one thing for sure. Metis has power. He's a finisher. That's no doubt. Metis' durability, it's a little concerning. I mean, he got dropped. I mean, he'd been knocked out a couple of times. He got dropped by a guy who's not UFC level. I want Metis to be good because he's really fun. He's a fun guy. But hey, good one. Ben's favorite fighter, Julia Stolianko, took on Gabriel Fernandez. Fernandez winning by unanimous decision. I mean, this was a nice match.
Pretty much. This man, Stoliarenko sucks. Here's the thing: like, I find her admirable on some level. She, again, to keep harping on it, she is somebody that knows what she's good at and does her level best to try to bring that into play. But she has all the limitations of a Mackenzie Dern, but even worse. Like, Mackenzie Dern has a fantastic double leg takedown compared to Stoliarenko. Like, Stoliarenko is so slow on the feet, has just no idea how to take somebody down from outside. Like, her clinch takedowns are basic, and she ends up too often just kind of rolling for weird stuff or pulling guard. But especially in space, she's just clueless. And while she's willing to throw strikes on the feet, just Fernandez was so much quicker. Stoliarenko couldn't get out of the way of her right hand, so Stoliarenko's like busted wide open on the left side. This is it. This is what 4 out of 5 Stoliarenko fights are going to look like from here on out if they don't cut her after tonight.
No, she'll never die.
She's not steal your ankles, unfortunately.
I'm watching this fight. And I can't I like rooting for like obscure things like a Stoliarenko win, and I'm like, try something different, girl. Like, you gotta cut. She couldn't cut off the cage. I'm like, you gotta just bull rush her, try to get to a clinch, do something. Like, just following Fernandez around, who's just kicking her. I think it was smart to go teep kicks up the middle. That was really smart. Once she started finding her range, she's pop shotting. She was able to keep escaping for anything. She looks good. 3 wins in a row now by Fernandez. I mean, are you believing?
Yeah. Cautiously, yes. Just she is. There's something about her that reminds me a little bit of Tyler Santos. She's more of kind of an athlete and bully right now than any kind of technical fighter, but she has time for that to come along. And if you're going to be a big athlete and bully, at least be like Fernandez and put yourself into a position where that can win fights for you.
Yeah, I like her. I mean, similar to what I said about Jocelyn Edwards, it has a lot to do with the division. I mean, anybody who goes on any kind of streak in that division, you feel good about moving forward. So she's someone kind of like Edwards, 1 or 2 more wins, and she's in that mix. And to open the card, a fight that we didn't even get to preview, it was added such last minute because you know what the UFC knows? The UFC knows that people will not watch an 11-fight card. It has to be a dozen. So they threw on what the people wanted: Cody Brundage versus Ersg, Meccanico. Meccanico winning split decision. Brundage gassed. I had it 1-1 going into the 3rd round. How did you have it?
I had it 1-1 going into the 3rd round as well, and I gave the 3rd round to Meccanico. And again, for what it's worth, I write the article previews for these fight nights, prelims on Wednesday, main card on Thursday. So I actually did have to preview this fight. For what it's worth, nice. I picked Meccanico in the slight upset. So
he was upset. Good.
No, he was the upset. Brundage was almost -200.
Oh, nice. I would like to take credit and say I would also pick Meccanico, but I didn't know enough about the dude. I know he fought before the UFC, but I know enough about the dude just to wing it and say I'd pick him.
Funny thing is, I thought Brundage looked pretty damn good in the beginning. Like, as soon as Brundage came out and started wrestling, I was like, oh, dude, I might have gotten this one really wrong, because I assumed he was just going to come out and do another Cody Brundage performance, just hang around on the outside, not throw enough strikes, just do Cody Brundage stuff, maybe get taken down. But no, he came out, started wrestling right away, and I thought I might be on the wrong track, but then he got tired. Meccanico kind of regrouped, started hitting him hard. Yeah, close fight, but
the weirdest thing is I thought Meccanico's probably his most convincing round was the 2nd round. this was a split decision. I looked at the judges' scorecards. Two of the judges gave the second round. Two of the judges gave the second round to Brundage. So, like one of the. Oh no, I'm sorry. I got that backwards. It was Brundage's best round was the second round.
Yeah,
and two of the judges gave that to Meccanico. So
they sure did.
Yeah, that was really sorry. So I just said that backwards. Apologize, guys. So there you guys have it. Let's get to the fun stuff, the awards. So Dude Seriously is gonna be a little different than I normally have because I was trying to play catch up. So usually the Dude Seriously I get from things the commentators say, but I was blasting through any like post-fight interviews, any of that. I was just kind of blasting right to get to the next fight. So I don't have a lot. Ben, what do you have to do seriously?
One's already been mentioned in the chat. Normally, I think of Joe Martinez as a significant upgrade from Bruce Buffer, but he did a Buffer type mistake tonight, reading off a score as 30-28, which was 30-26. Now, neither of those were good scores, but only fair that I say what I would say if it were Buffer, where, dude, 95% of your job is saying names and reading numbers off a card. If you can't do the basic work of pronouncing the names close to right and reading the numbers right, what are you even there for? So yeah, that was not great.
Yeah. Not a good night.
DC's whole night was it was not a good night for him.
Yeah, but rough. That's his thing. That's his whole stick. Like the whole DC, I don't. That's what he's there for. He's not supposed to be the most knowledgeable. That's like his thing. It's Ninja Kitty said DC saying Holyfield KO'd Bo with a right hand. Did he not? Did Holyfield KO somebody else, or he just made that up? Is he just like mixing up the people?
I mean, I'm thinking that's the last time I actually paid close attention to heavyweight boxing. I'm like, I mean, Holyfield definitely fought Bo, but
yeah, he fought three. Did that one time the parachute guy landed? Remember?
Yes,
was it the parachute fight?
I don't want to like take the time to look it up right now, but I'm totally going to as soon as the show's over.
I'll give you one, dude. Seriously, and someone actually said this in the chat. How about Stoliarenko thinking she won the fight? Like she's at like when they're about to read the scorecard, she's got her eyes closed and she's like, "Oh fuck!" And I'm like, I understand Miles Johns thinking he might have won, okay, but Stoliarenko thinking she won for what? Swinging at air and hit nothing.
I don't get that one at all.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the bull. Let's go to the Cutlass. The Cutlass way the Cutlass works. If both me and Ben have the same person on the Cutlass, we give the UFC permission to get rid of them. Again, I was playing catch up, so I might have missed some of the people that I normally would write down. As I was going through my notes really quick. Ben, how many do you have for the Cutlass?
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
He's gone. Holy shit!
I have 6.
Oh man,
no. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 7. I'm sorry.
Man, is this like when end of the month where like a car dealership has to have so many cars out of stock before a certain month, and you're like,
no. I'm the dude with the sandwich sign for the mattress place that's been claiming it's going out of business for the last 13 years. Okay, here, I'll make this simple. And I'm not doing this just to be able to make a sweeping statement, but looking at them one by one, I'm cutting the losers of the first 7 fights in a row.
Wow.
All 7 of them from Brundage up to Anders can go.
Wow. So I only have 3, but again, I'll be honest, I was going much quicker than I normally do. I had Stoliarenko because he lost 4 out of 6. I have Albina because he lost 5 out of 6. And I have Squa, he lost 3 out of 4. Brundage took the fight on really short notice, but honestly, I'm okay with that. Like he's been, he's been there. Who else? Who am I? So that would be
Cachoeira.
Yeah, she lost 3 out of 4, but she's entertaining. I'd keep her in that division.
Dude, you're the one who doesn't think she should be in the UFC. Period.
Yeah, I know. I just mentioned that just how much of a scumbag she is. But
I'm letting Toshiomi
Kazama.
Kazama go.
Yeah, I missed that one. Yeah, he is only on a 1 fight losing streak, but yes, he's not UFC level.
Well, it's more like probably not re-signed because that was his 4th fight out of Road to UFC. He's 1-3. He's probably not getting re-signed.
Yeah. And then you get rid of Brundage? I'm sorry, not Brundage. Anders?
But before that, Rafael Sequeira, 0-3 in the UFC.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And yeah, I was letting Anders go.
Wow, Ben is he's cutting.
Well, here's the thing. Unless you're going to keep him around to test the Christian Leroy Duncans of the world, his fights are dreadful unless he loses really badly.
And contender series is coming soon, so you need to make room. You know what? You've convinced me. Get rid of all.
No, year-round contender series is coming. The UFC is gonna be signing 80 to 100 fighters a year out of it instead of 40 to 50. Like the roster is going to need to turn over basically 20-25% a year just to keep up with that.
How are they? I need to get Keith has got Mario Rivera after tearing up his Achilles at the old timers game. Nice.
Mariano Rivera can't even play pickleball in Keith's town.
You know what happened? He tried to do something athletic. He had to play outfield. There you go. Like, not coming in. You know why? I heard that old timers game was more than 1 inning. That's what happened, and that's it. How are they gonna? I mean, the only thing I can think of is they're gonna have. I mean, if they cut 100 guys, they have hard enough time getting everyone fights now. I mean, the only thing I think of is they go like 15, 16, 17 fights a card.
They do tough once every 2 years, and they're already continually doing seasons where they're retreading people that got cut from the UFC before. You're getting like, Cody Gibson's and Brad Katona's coming back through tough. Contender series, I think it's going to become the rule rather than the exception that you end up with these guys that have to fight on the contender series 3 times before they get to the UFC. I think it's probably going to become its own sub promotion. Where
I'm not even talking about like, say you have another 100 people, whatever, I get in a contract. Like, how are you going to get everyone fights? The only thing I think of is, obviously the whole new network deals and whatever is wherever they go that they add, like there's like a Wednesday mid card part of the deal, which if that happens, I'm not doing the previews. I'm not doing 2 previews a week. Sorry guys. All right, let's go to the Bulls and Bears. The Bulls and Bears are stock market riders. You want to be on the Bulls list. You do not want to be on the Bears list. We do it hockey style 3, 2, 1. Ben, let's go. Do you want to go Bulls or you want to go Bears?
I'm all fired up from cutting 7 people. We can stay negative if you want.
All right, stay negative. You mind if I go first?
Go for it.
All right, my number 3. I'm going to go with Priscilla Cachoeira. She had a little run where she's starting to get a little buzz about her, and now she's lost 3 out of 4, and she got trashed in 2 of those fights. So Priscilla Cachoeira, the little belief people had in her are completely gone. My number 2 Bear, I'm going to go Ode Osborne. He had an opportunity even to become like a highly ranked fighter with a win over Steve Ersg. Instead, he lets this fight slip away. He's lost 4 out of 5 fights. I mean, this is the guy he went from possibly being a contender, but possibly getting cut. Not good for Ode Osborne. And my number 1, this is the first time I've had it on back-to-back weeks. It's Apex cards. The knockouts they had tonight, there were some really good knockouts. Obviously, the Elijah Smith one is going to be an all-time view. To have that in front of 25 people at the Apex instead, could you imagine? Put that in anywhere. Put that in some obscure town, obscure city in, I don't know, Omaha, Nebraska. I know that's not obscure, but that arena would have went crazy. Could you imagine the beer would have been spilling? People would be talking about that moment for the rest of life. They'd be talking about like, I was there. Like there's always like a moment where you're like, oh, some epic thing happens. Like I was there. Like I always think about when Calvin Kattar knocked out Shane Burgos. Mm-hmm. I was there, and that's not one that people are going to all time remember. It was a great fight, but I remember when it happened. It was a Boston guy. Obviously, the little rivalry in New York. They set that up on purpose. The Boston guy gets a knockout. The whole crowd was, and I remember just standing and just seeing just beer flowing, just in the ears, just scattering everybody. And that will always stay in my memory. I remember when Phil Baroni absolutely massacred Dave Monet and me questioning, and I'm like, I don't know, 17 years old, 18 years old, I was young, and saying, am I evil to like this? To see a guy getting held up by punches? Like, is something wrong? Like, I'm more connected to that. Like, you're stealing these opportunities from fans. And then you're going to sit there and you're going to hold press conference and talk about, there's nothing like a live MMA fight and everything. And then be like, but we're going to have like 75% of our cards at a stupid Apex. So, like, it seems so fucking cheap.
It really does. And I'm glad that era is just about over, because whoever the UFC's next broadcast partner is, 25 forced cards a year in a basically empty TV studio is probably not going to be part of it. Like, they're not going back to the Apex between now and the end of the year. The UFC is going to be on 4 continents in the next 5 weeks, and they're on the road through the end of the year. I have the feeling that the Apex is not going to be as big a part of things going forward, and I could not agree with you more. I'm so happy for that. People are sharing moments that they enjoyed live, and even if you weren't there live, Chandler's KO on Tony Ferguson, anytime the UFC shows that reel, there's a... Like, watching somebody get slammed through the mat in a dead silent room, or a room with like 80 people yelling, just doesn't slap the same.
What interest? So think about interest. You've been in an arena, and there is something to what Dana says. There is like a aura, and I remember being Izzy versus Alex Pereira, their first MMA fight, and the entrance is just vibrating through the place. It was just like, oh my God, it makes it so much bigger, so much, I mean, I've been to tons of them, but yeah, like, stop. But yeah, I God, from your what do they say, from your lips to God's ears, like, please make it happen.
Yeah.
And just listen, I understand it sucks for the staff. I get it. And I've been around UFC staff members, I know you have. That must suck. Well, then have 2 crews. Have one. Yeah. Home and away every other weekend. Do figure something out.
Sure. I mean, half the reason that this card was so early tonight, like a couple hours earlier than most Apex cards, is probably because they're all hitting the road tomorrow.
It's tough. I get it. Maybe you have a seniority thing where, okay, or you just do a lot more Las Vegas cards. Put it in, and I mean, I understand, instead of being, I don't know, figure shit out. I don't know. There's logistics. There's people who can figure that shit out. But anyways, what do you have for Bears?
Bears, agree with all yours. I am gonna mention Roman Dolidze. Like, he's already exceeded expectations upon coming into the UFC. I've said it a million times. I said it in the print thing. Like, for a guy that just, the UFC signed him out of nowhere, he hadn't fought in a year and a half. I thought he was going to be there and gone. He's already, having installed himself as a longtime top 10 fighter, exceeded expectations, but he has hit a hard ceiling at this point. He is the definition of a guy that is top 10, but not top 5. Because every time he fights a top 5 guy, it's not just that he loses. It's like he loses, and you know that if they fought 10 times, it's going to look something like that every time.
Wow. Hopefully not like that. Hernandez stole his soul tonight. That was bad.
Yeah. But what I mean is, like, it wouldn't get any better than this. If they, so bad night for Roman Dolidze. Bad night for Christian Rodriguez, the guy that he's still just 27 years old. He's already carved himself out an interesting niche by handing 3 of the UFC's hottest prospects their first professional loss, but he's now lost solidly 3 times at 145 pounds. And I didn't think so on the preview, but now, okay, this is the first time I've seen him lose at featherweight where I'm like, okay, being smaller is a major part of the reason you lost. And he's kind of a tweener because he's missed weight at 135. So yeah, he's just 27. He has time to regroup, retool his game. He's got some remarkable tools. I like him as a fighter, but this was a bad night. And I don't think I need to throw anybody else out there. I just cut 7 people. Like, putting them on, any of them on the Bears list would just seem unnecessary.
Yeah, like just beating a dead horse. All right, let's go to the Bulls list. So you want to be on the Bulls list. These people are different things that had a good night. Ben, kick it off.
Okay. Bull number 3 has got to be Andre Fili. You get a win in the cage, then outside the cage, you possibly set yourself up for an attractive threesome by pointing out your wife and then saying some saucy stuff about the attractive woman sitting next to your wife. I don't know if that's his sister-in-law or what, but I hope he got an extra $50K and then
I fast forward through this.
Got double teamed.
No
he got after he beat Rodriguez. It was a joking thing, but he got interviewed by DC and he said, you know, I got a baby. There's my wife. They pan, and his wife is sitting there in the front row. Well, there's the row,
Okay.
and then next to her is sitting this other woman that looks to be in kind of like her 20s. He's like, not the dark haired one, although maybe, you know, if I get a bonus. I'm like, you are the man.
Oh man, nice job.
That was amazing. Bull number 2, JP Bays. I hope wherever he is, maybe in South Africa tonight, he's just sitting up like Leonardo DiCaprio pointing at his TV. I hope he sends Anthony Hernandez a bunch of flowers. Good night. Not at the office for Mr. JP Bays. Number 1, Bull. Oh. Nevada Athletic Commission Director Jeff Mullen, who on Friday at the official weigh-ins had the privilege of standing in front of the scale when UFC strawweight Angela Hill walked up to it, went, oh, I forgot something. And Angela Hill, being the amazing, doesn't give a damn woman she is, pulls out a pair of silicone bra inserts, slaps them warm silicone shits into Jeff Mullen's hand, and gets up on the scale.
Oh, my Lord. She is a absolute gem.
She is a treasure. Like, and you know, like she probably just remembers to take him out before she walks out most times, but she's like, oh, forgot something. You know, pulls herself out from an A cup to a no cup, hands those things to Jeff Mullen, weighs in, takes them back. Apparently one of them fell off the scale and like bounced out off the stage, and like there had to be some recovery. But yeah, so that's my Mr. Jeff Mullen. If you're someone who works in this industry, not as a competitor, you know, sometimes all you need is like a different day at the office, like just a memorable day, a little different. You know, Jeff Mullen, he's the Nevada Athletic Commission director. He's doing this shit on some level every single week, but this is one he'll remember forever. So good job, Mr. Mullen.
Yeah, that is awesome. Oh yeah, yours is better than mine. I'll go Jocelyn Edwards. Okay, 3 fights in a row. She's right there. She's really kind of turned around her career. Made weight 2 fights in a row. So Jocelyn Edwards. Number 2. How about the Duncans? 2 cards in a row. Yeah, last week it was Chris Duncan. This week it was Christian Leroy Duncan. The Duncans are on fire. And number 1, I mean, I'm leaving Anthony Hernandez off the list because he's so. I mean, I don't think he's stuck and go any higher. I don't know how far he's going to go. I mean, I hope he goes really far. But Elijah Smith has a highlight forever. He will be on the highlight videos forever. So Elijah Smith, 22 years old, I'm assuming Twitter and Instagram in the next couple of days is going to show that a lot. People are going to make it to memes like, my weekend, and then Monday morning slamming them. And, you know, people are going to have fun with it. Great to be Elijah Smith after tonight. So, Ben, what? I forgot about the awards. Obviously, Elijah Smith. Elijah's got one.
We have 4 performances of the night, no fight of the night.
Okay, no Brandon.
So, I guess Andre Fili better hope that sister-in-law is a cheap date. Yeah.
I think obviously. Guys, if Elijah Smith doesn't get a bonus, we riot. Like that's nuts. Man, is it 4 of them? I'm gonna go with Duncan. The way Duncan finished it was brutal. I'm gonna go with Jocelyn Edwards. Just because of female MMA, you don't have like knockouts like that. Usually it's like cumulative, then like actually drop someone with punches and stuff. I'm looking at Medage and thinking he deserves one, but you know what? How do you not give Anthony Hernandez something? I'm going Hernandez. I'm going Smith, Duncan, Edwards, Hernandez.
Nailed it. That is the 4 performance of the night winners: Anthony Hernandez, Christian Leroy Duncan, Elijah Smith, and Jocelyn Edwards.
Would you have changed anything?
No. And that makes me feel bad because it's not like any of the finishes were bad. Like
No.
Medic lamped Urbina with one punch. Yeah, it was a tough night.
I mean, Lucindo had put on a great show.
Yeah.
The only one I feel for is Medage. I mean, there's one person get left out. It comes down to Medage simply because of who he did it to. Yeah. And obviously it was spectacular and it was more brutal than Edwards. But Edwards, I mean, I don't know if they were ranked opponents, but they're closer to being ranked.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was your grade for the card?
I give this card, I'd give it a B+, which is much like that's better than I expected to. But you know what? There were no terrible fights. There were a couple of sensational finishes. And again, I was as charged to talk about this card after that main event as I have been about any fight night all year.
Yeah, I'm gonna go like B. It's hard because of the relevance. Other than maybe the top 3 fights or 4 fights, it kind of really slims down on what we're talking about rankings wise. That you put it in front of a crowd, get the reaction to be better. So I kind of like I feel like this is like a rock band that has a dope song that's playing somewhere that nobody's hearing it. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure when I don't know who had a killer debut album that played a great song or what's it? How about this? You would know music way better than me. Give me a song that can't like sometimes you'll have like a song come out like an album, but then it's not popular. Then they become popular and that song will come out again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you have one like, do you know if you had like some super popular song that was actually written on an album 5 years earlier before it became a hit?
Yeah, Red Red Wine by UB40.
There you go. So UB40 somewhere was singing Red Red Wine, and not the song I thought. I think it would come with like some hit Led Zeppelin song or something, but UB40 Red Red Wine was getting played at some small bar somewhere, and it was just background music, and no one was even listening to it. That's what I feel like with Apex. Like we had great knockouts, and nobody gives a shit.
Oh man, ACC says Mother by Danzig. That's a perfect example because that was on Danzig's first album and it didn't become a hit until he released a live album like 4 or 5 years later. And then everybody kind of got into it when they could see like his weird little muscular ass like singing his. Yeah, that's.
So there you go. There's a perfect example. And he was singing it somewhere and nobody heard. It was just like, someone turned to like, man, I wish you wouldn't sing so loud. I could hear you better. Like someone's saying that to somebody, somebody in the background, like, you suck. Give it up. Dude, you'll never be a rock star, So that's how I kind of feel. But yeah, I go B. Like this is as good as it can go.
It's Danzig. It's this jacked 5'5" guy. So somebody would have been like, "Is that Joe Rogan?" Yeah,
that's Joe Rogan. All right. Always the hardest question is who is your listener of the night? There was some good one. It was a great chat tonight.
This was a fantastic chat tonight. If I don't mention you, it's probably because you've won too many times or you're in the business and I consider you disqualified from winning. Otherwise, like Big Marcel, anytime you hang out with us for more than like a courtesy appearance, you're always at the top of the charts. But Iman Report and Mr. C, I think are tied for me tonight.
Yeah, Mr. C had me cracking. Iman Report was always great. Ninja Kitty always cracks me up. Antoine Wells always has we got to get Antoine. You know what? We don't have
get us. Yeah.
We got to get Antoine on the show to be the producer who could just pop in every once in a while with a good question because he's the man when it comes to questions. You know what I mean? Like, all right, Antoine, what do you got for us? And he comes in and he's like, hey guys, what do you question from the chat is? And like that's Antoine. He's the fucking man. But my listener, you know what? I'm gonna go MMA Rex. Good, tons of information all the way. I think we give it to MMA Rex a lot, but tons of information, some pretty funny lines. I'm going to give it to MMA Rex. But shout out to everybody. Spraffron was great. Obviously, Juice X, Eric first day. He kept trying to get standout athletes from Rhode Island. I don't think there is any. I mean, I'm sure there's I think some hockey players came out of Rhode Island. I played baseball.
John Cena's from Rhode Island, isn't he?
John Cena's from no, he's from I think he's from Mass. I don't think he's from Rhode Island.
Maybe he played college ball in Rhode Island.
Oh,
for the D2 or D3 school in Rhode Island.
Really?
Yeah, he played college football. Yeah.
Bryant? Uri? It's got to be Brown. I mean, not Brown. Brown, Uri, or maybe
Brown is Division 1 AA or FCS.
D2
Springfield College.
No, that's
in Mass. Never mind. I don't know why I thought he was related to Rhode Island somehow. Then I guess it's Eric Spicely.
I think Eric Spicely, Andre Sigmata. Yeah, I think he I don't know. I think he slammed the Big Show at the Dunkin' Donuts Center. We do have our big arena is called the Dunkin' Donuts Center, of course, because we're New England. But anyways, yeah, he had a bunch of them, but I know we had some. I played baseball against Rocco Mordelli, manager for the Twins. He played for the the Rays way back in the day. There's a great wrestler, Gabe Boise, for Cornell. Watch out for him coming up the ranks. But I think some skiers and shit. I don't know. No LeBron coming through or anything like that.
Demetrius Andrade, who was undefeated in boxing until like a year or two ago, was.
I guess
there you go.
I should have known that because I don't know if I can say this, but his brother was shot in my city. His brother became paralyzed in my city, and that was a case I investigated. So we ended up getting the guy who shot him. But that's his brother. That's Boo Boo Andre's brother. Anyways, so there you guys have it. We have covered UFC Vegas 109 and we believe the deepest we've ever gone. We got a little sidetracked. We had the Know Your Host. We had a whole Ben wouldn't stop talking about baseball in the Hall of Fame and bagging Yankee fans. But we'll be back 1 week from today. UFC 319. In my opinion, one of the best main events we've had in a really long time. The middleweight title will be on the line as Dricus du Plessis takes on a guy we've been waiting for a long time to get a title shot, Khamzat Chimaev, plus a bunch of other fights. So make sure you check that out. All the best coverage will be here on sherdog.com. Tons of information. We believe that if you're looking for MMA information, just go with the originals, sherdog.com. He's Ben. I'm Keith. Thanks, everybody in the chat. We'll see you guys next week.